Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Women of '09 Solutions Spotlight. I'm your host, Caleb Masters, and today we have the exciting opportunity to speak with the Vice President of Customer Success at '09 Solutions, Swati Vasal. In today's conversation, we'll talk with Swati about how she found her way to a career in supply chain technology before learning about what brought her to join '09 Solutions. And then I'll close out the conversation by speaking with Swati about her perspective on the future of women in tech and what excites her most about the future of '09. So for those of you who haven't had the wonderful pleasure of connecting with Swati, she's really had an impressive career. With over 18 years of experience as a supply chain professional, she is focused on influencing global business through strategic transformation initiatives to help customers achieve their desired business outcomes post-implementation. Skilled at analyzing and deriving business insights and working across teams and geographies, Swati is known for her cross-functional team leadership, resulting in overall client satisfaction and success. Swati, welcome to today's conversation.
Thank you so much, Caleb. I couldn't be happier. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Oh, wonderful. I've been looking forward to this conversation. More than anything, just give you an opportunity to get to know you a little better. Let's start. I know we're going to get into the weeds here in a minute, but I want to take a step back. I want to learn a little bit more about you. You've spent decades working in supply chain technology. What drew you to pursue a career in this field?
Actually, a double decade almost now. I would say my background had a huge part to play with this, or essentially my family, who were all into academics, and we've always been into problem solving since the beginning in our respective fields, though. So, one thing led to the other, and I decided I wanted to do my bit for the world too, and in particular, supply chain problems for brands and industries, which are so much a part of our day to day lives. An opportunity opened up right after I finished college, and as they say, all pieces of the jigsaw fell into place.
Oh, that's great. I love to hear it. I imagine you've been in this business, you say, about 2 decades. What has been one of your biggest challenges as a woman working in technology throughout this career?
I felt the challenge initially during my graduation by sheer underrepresentation of women in numbers in tech. I started off in a girls' school for 12 years, and I go into the next phase of my life. I was the only girl in my graduating class of 40 students. I still got where I needed to be eventually, but I feel the journey could have been so much easier, be it in terms of inclusion, enjoying the whole learning experience, and to some extent, even growing my confidence in the critical phase of those years. It got better as I did my master's and eventually as I started my career. Over the years, the gap I felt now, which is prevalent in many cases, is women tend to be absolutely sure or we double question ourselves before pitching in or even expressing our point of view. Or sometimes we are too polite to get a word in when there are too many people involved and there are heavy discussions ongoing. For men, I do not want to generalize, but in general, it's easier for them to express what they're thinking about in microseconds and they're able to articulate things much easily. I feel I got lucky in my career to have very strong leaders always around me who invested efforts into stepping over such gaps between men and women. I remember my ex boss once telling the team, there's a reason why everyone has been invited to the meeting to contribute. By staying silent or just being a fly on the wall, you kill that intent and everybody missing out on making your perspective a part of the decision making process. I remember seeing the healthiest discussions in our team and decisions after that. So, with the organizations now actively getting vested in making a conscious effort to meet every criteria of inclusion and diversity, I see the trend is now improving. I would love to see more women in executive positions across various professions and not just tech.
Thank you for sharing your experience and being transparent about some of the challenges that you've seen. I imagine having a supportive boss, it sounds like really kind of helped your growth. Would you say that's accurate?
That is absolutely quintessential. I think now I have the responsibility of doing the same thing to my teammates. I got lucky, but I need to be the same amount of leader that I had. And in general, I think if I could go back, I shouldn't have waited for leaders to see that confidence in me. I wish I had the confidence right from the start.
You clearly have made good for yourself in the years since. So I would love to take a look at the opposite here. What would you say is one of the biggest achievements in your career?
Well, I think the proudest achievement or milestone in my career was the transition from being an individual contributor to becoming a leader of a team. And that happened around a decade back. At the same time, it was indeed intense and a critical responsibility of not just building your but others' career and making future leaders rise up around you and getting eventually the best results from the team. For me now, achievement is when somebody in my team does well and they do outstanding job and they get accolades for their work. I'm very attached to my team. They are my work family, and I've been very lucky to have an excellent one.
You've been able to pay it forward, taking sort of the great lessons you learned from your previous leaders and apply that to your own teams.
Absolutely. So you pass on the good work.
What would you say is your why, or maybe what why or core value motivates you to get out of bed every day and do your job?
So, one of the good things that happened over the last few years is I wake up every day with a feeling of purpose that I am needed to solve a situation or help a team member and even our clients. And that gives me a strong motivation to get up and get going. And since I have a global team across time zones, by the time I wake up, or even around 7 o'clock my time, my inbox is absolutely full and busy. It drives an energy inside me to step up and make a difference and start solving problems. I've never had a dull day in the last few years.
I can't imagine. Never a dull day at '09. I think is a good way to put it. I'd love to dig into that a little further. You really enjoy your team and the pace. How do you building teams and developing employees? How does that fulfill you both personally and professionally?
Personally, like I said, they're literally my family and a family I've chosen and worked on and built from scratch. So I'm very attached to the success as well as the welfare of each one of them. In fact, we try to use the term associate and not employee in O9 because they're literally our family members. Professionally, I realized and acknowledged the power and the need for delegation long time back. I mean, I've seen people who are not vested in delegating or making the same level of leaders in their team, and I see they have a very constrained span of influence. So, if you want to do more, build leaders, invest in your team.
Not only is it going to be beneficial, it's fulfilling to you, as you just outlined, but I mean, there's also going to be some business value in spending time and money and resources in development. Could you elaborate? I mean, how do investments in employee development benefit not only the employees who are growing, but also the business?
There's a saying actually if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. So I think as an individual, even if you're the best performer, you can only do as much. But a team can bring out extraordinary results. At the same time, I think understanding and investing in associates' strengths and passions makes them go above and beyond in their roles and responsibilities, which is very crucial to growing companies like ours.
Absolutely. As you say, like the challenges we're facing today are not the same ones that we're going to face tomorrow. So there's got to be an investment in the growth of those employees to handle the challenges that we'll be looking at tomorrow.
Absolutely. We need a team ready for the challenges that are coming our way.
I want to turn things around a little bit and talk about '09 Solutions and your history with the company. How did you hear about '09 and what exactly attracted you to join the rocket ship?
It's actually an interesting story. I relocated with my husband around 4 years back, and I was starting a fresh year after a stint of 15 years at my last job. '09, interestingly, had just started building a team in Spain on the same timeline, and I applied right away. A few interviews later, I heard the magical words, "So, when can you start with us?" I think I found my dream opportunity even before I found a house to live in Barcelona. I was the 18th employee in Europe, and there's been no looking back since.
18th employee in Europe. So you are one of the originals. So you've seen '09 grow and go through different iterations of the company. In terms of like the growth that you've experienced just on your side and in the European office, what has been most exciting about the evolution?
The best part of starting early is you actually see the organization evolve. From a baby, you start walking, and right now, I think we are running. So, one of the good things about being a part of the journey early on is I saw people rise up to the occasion, rise up to the best of their potential, go above and beyond, as I said, which is crucial for growing companies. So, at that time, I remember we used to have a small room in Barcelona, all people cross functionally sitting together, helping each other hire or even solve or even on projects or even in client conversation. It was literally a all hands on deck kind of a situation, and it worked out beautifully. Now, of course, we have a bigger group, we have more structure, more processes, but I'll never forget those days.
Again, I imagine it's quite a bit different since you were number 18 in the office. I want to go a little deeper into the ins and outs of your role. What is your favorite part about working with clients and customers at O9 Solutions?
So, the best part I see with O9 and the way our clients deal with us versus we deal with them is that it's a partnership. They literally consider us as their trusted advisors, and they're extremely collaborative. We've made immense breakthroughs in various industries and geographies across, and we are growing every year like wildfire because of this approach. And I see the client first DNA instilled in all O9ers, which helps us prioritize and flex to meet their needs and deliver at the end a lot of value to them.
Swati, I mean, especially as we're thinking about what you said about clients and customers, you've specifically been around the block and experienced a variety of different work environments, various iterations of O9 throughout its growth. What would you say differentiates O9 Solutions from other workplaces that you've been a part of?
Well, I think the key differentiator is the work culture and the amount of growth opportunities we get across here. And we have the right amount of youthful energy and experience in our teams, getting the best blend of both worlds. That's what makes it perfect.
Swati, I'm going to shift gears here. You are a world traveler. Why is this hobby important to giving you the energy that you need to successfully serve the customers?
One of the most important part of delivering value to customers is actually understanding them and their needs well. If you can do that, you can solve any kind of problem. Traveling exposed me to various cultures and geographies and people quite early in my career, and I started respecting and empathizing their viewpoints better, which helps me in my day to day job and which helped me understand my clients much better.
Well, I have to ask the question. If you like to travel and it's helping you better understand your clients, but I'm sure you have some destinations that are personal favorites, what would you say are your top three favorite travel destinations?
Top three. Well, it's been a dynamic list every year, but if you ask me right now, the top one is New Zealand for sure. I literally have decided it will be my retirement place, followed by Switzerland. I am booked out for August, and this will be my third trip there. And I absolutely love Italy too. The villages around Tuscany, Lake Como, the Amalfi Coast. I think I've just done half of it. I'm looking forward to do much more.
And that's another thing about O9 Solutions that's makes it a great place to work is there's so many traveling opportunities, both for work, but also personally. There's a lot of flexibility that the company offers employees. Would you say you've been able to take advantage of that benefit?
Absolutely. I've never seen so much focus on employee welfare. As well as, I mean, we have in Europe, we have unlimited holidays. So it gives you a level of ownership. As long as you're taking care of your responsibilities, they really want you to have a very good personal life. And as a leader, I encourage that myself. We all discuss our vacations, we all come back from vacations and we all chat up on it. I think it's beautiful the way O9 has the perfect balance between work and vacations.
As we start to wind down the conversation today, I want to turn it back to O9 Solutions and women in tech. What would you say excites you the most about the future of O9 Solutions?
I think what we have in O9 is world class leadership and world class teams. And the leadership here sees so much potential in everyone that it motivates one to go and above and beyond and do better than your best. Since I have joined O9, I've seen exponential growth in people and careers all around me. That's something I'd never seen in the past. So, definitely, very good place to be.
Especially as we think about we have great leaders who are supporting the employees. What is O9 Solutions doing to support more specifically women in tech to help them grow their careers?
So O9 has been very vested in all social causes as well as associate welfare actions, and diversity we realize is a very important focus area for us to grow and be where we are. I see leaders taking conscious efforts. I myself try to do vested efforts in this direction to recognize and grow women, not just in terms of numbers, but also in terms of executive presence. I mean, we have a lot of engineers, we have a lot of analysts. I want to see more women VP in the organization. And I see all leaders are trying their best to make that happen.
We're very committed to ensuring that women have the same opportunities and the growth paths that you've talked about earlier today. So an exciting place to be for the women who are interested in pursuing a career in tech. If you could go back and give a younger version of yourself at the beginning of your career advice, what would you share?
I think my advice would be to be more confident about my potential in the initial years. I kind of underestimated myself initially, but I was still very lucky that I was always in the best hands with strong leaders around me pushing me ahead. But if I could go back, I think I should have figured it out myself much earlier.
Have confidence in yourself. Don't wait on other people to validate you.
Absolutely. I got lucky, but if I hadn't, I would have taken much longer to be where I am.
Great advice. Be bold. Swati, is there anything else you'd like to add today regarding your experience working at O9 Solutions?
Definitely. I think O9 has essentially given my life a strong sense of purpose and direction, not just professionally, but even personally. With visionary leadership, a A-class team, and very strong core values company wide, I can very confidently say there's no other place in the world I would rather be. I would recommend anyone with the right talent and attitude to come join our rocket ship.
Swati Vasal, thank you so much for joining us on this Women of O9 Solutions Spotlight today.
Thank you so much, Caleb, for inviting me over and giving me a forum to share my thoughts.
It's been incredible hearing your thoughts and experiences. And listeners, thanks so much for joining us for today's Women of O9 Solutions Spotlight. If you enjoyed today's conversation and you're interested in learning more about the company, you can head to o9solutions.com or follow O9 Solutions on LinkedIn. Or if you would like to take things a step further and join O9's rapidly growing team, you can check out the current job openings at o9solutions.com/careers. We'll catch you again next time.